On if you can, and over to you.
Okay. So the reading that I'm sharing is from the selections from the writings of Abdul Baha. And it goes, O peoples of the world, the Sun of Truth has risen to illumine the whole earth and to spiritualize the community of man. Laudable are the results and the fruits thereof. Abundant the holy evidences deriving from this grace. This is mercy unalloyed and purest bounty. It is light for the world and all its peoples. It is harmony and fellowship and love and solidarity. Indeed, it is compassion and unity. It is the end of foreignness. It is being at one in complete dignity and freedom with all on earth. The blessed beauty says, you are all the fruits of one tree and the leaves of one branch. Thus has he likened this world of being to a single tree, and all its peoples to the leaves thereof, and the blossoms and the fruits. It is needful for the bough to blossom, and the leaf and fruit to flourish. And upon the interconnection of all parts of the world tree dependeth the flourishing of leaf and blossom, and the sweetness of the fruit. For this reason must all human beings powerfully sustain one another and seek for everlasting life. And for this reason must the lovers of God in this contingent world become the mercies and the blessings sent forth by that clement King of the seen and unseen realms. Let them purify their sight and behold all humankinds as leaves and blossoms and fruit of the tree of being. Let them at all times concern themselves with doing a kindly thing for one of their fellows, offering to someone love, consideration, and thoughtful help. Let them see no one as their enemy or as wishing them ill, but think of all humankind as their friends, regarding the alien as an intimate, the stranger as a companion, staying free of prejudice, drawing no lines. In this day, the one favored at the threshold of the Lord is he who hands round the cup of faithfulness, who bestows even upon his enemies the jewel of bounty, and lendeth even to his fallen oppressor a helping hand. It is he who will even to the fiercest of his foe be a loving friend. These have always been the counsels of God. These are the counsels of his great name. O you dear friends, the world is at war and the human race is in travail and mortal combat. The dark night of hate has taken over and the light of good faith is blotted out. The peoples and kindreds of the earth have sharpened their claws and they are hurling themselves one against the other. It is the very foundation of the human race that is being destroyed. It is thousands of households that are vagrant and dispossessed, and every year sees thousands upon thousands of human beings weltering in their lifeblood on dusty battlefields. The tents of life and joy are down. The generals practice their generalship, boasting of the blood they shed, competing one with the next in inciting to violence. With the sword, says one of them, I beheaded a people, and another, I toppled a nation to the ground, and yet another, I brought a government down. On such things do men pride themselves? In such things do they glory? Love, righteousness, these are everywhere censored, while despised are harmony and devotion to truth. The faith of God has always summoned mankind to safety and love, to amity, to peace. He is directing his call to all people. O you who are God's lovers, know you the value of your faith. Obey God's teachings from the beginning to the end. Walk in his road that was always drawn straight, and show you the way to the people. Lift up your voices, sing out the songs of the kingdom. Spread far and wide the precepts and counsels of a loving Lord, so that this world will change into another world, and this darksome earth will be flooded with light, and this dead body of mankind will arise and live, so that every soul will seek for immortality through the holy breaths of God. Soon will your swiftly passing days be over. The fame, the riches, the comforts, the joys provided by this rubbish heap, the world, will be gone without a trace. Summon you then the people to God and invite humanity to follow the example of the company on high. Be you loving fathers to the orphan, a refuge to the helpless, a treasury for the poor, and a cure for the ailing. Be you the helpers of every victim of oppression, the patrons of the disadvantaged. Think you at all times of rendering some service to every member of the human race. Pay you no heed to aversion and rejection, to disdain, hostility, injustice. Act you in the opposite way. Be you sincerely kind, not in appearances only. Let each one of God's loved ones attract his attention to this. Be God's mercy to man. Be God's grace to man. Do some good to every person whose path you cross, and be of some benefit to them. Let them improve the character of each and all. Reorient the minds of men. In this way, the light of guidance will shine forth, and the blessings of God will cradle all mankind. For love is light, no matter in which abode it dwelleth, and hate its darkness, no matter where it makes its nest. O friends of God, that the hidden mystery may stand revealed and the secret essence of all things may be disclosed. Strive that you banish this darkness you facing forever and ever.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Ghazala. What a beautiful reading this afternoon, and thank you for bringing that to us to anchor and set this foundation for us as we talk today, as we have this conversation. We are so grateful that you have shared that with us, and I will ask you to please share it on the chat as well. There were so many beautiful sentiments that I just wanted to hang on to and hold on to. And I think that will even keep us for the whole week to come. So we appreciate and please, as we chat today, let's try and use our chat as much as possible for what you are thinking, what you are feeling. As the Faith Action Collective, we are an interfaith movement that are working together and working in our own spaces to transform harmful norms and to make sure that even what Ghazala mentioned today, that love and unity and compassion is lived out in our faith spaces, in our families, and in our communities. And so we invite each one of you to join with us, and we'd like to support you even in your processes and programs, wherever you are and whatever you are doing. So welcome once again. If you've just joined us, we are so grateful to be in this lunch hour. I'm going to move ahead with just giving us kind of a foundation again of with the values that Ghazala had just mentioned, which we hold on to and we summarize in our Interfaith Collective as Ubuntu. And with that, to think about what does it mean to have a safety container or container of sharing and being safe together. So there's a picture on there, and then I have my container bowl that's here. And if you think about any container, you have it because you want to contain something or you want to hold something. And together we are inviting each other to hold together the conversation that we would like to have, not only today, but for the rest of the time of our series. One that is safe. So again, our values of love and respect coming through strongly, of seeking to understand, of seeking to listen to understand instead of listening to respond. So some of those values that you want to be part of this container that we are co-creating together, please again use your chat. Let us know some of those values that you want for our space. And then we also encourage you that it may be, sometimes encourage, it's risky. So there's a risk of being discomforted, a risk of maybe asking, oh, I don't know about this question. Is it stupid? There's no such thing here. We want you to bring your questions. We want you to wander together with us, to bring your challenges as well, to share what you are learning. And so we hold that together. And then accountable. to keep each other accountable. Look, we are human and we do mess up. And we do sometimes, you know, say things that we don't intend for it to hurt, but it may hurt someone. So how do we be accountable, even in the space, to each other, that we will seek to mend if we've hurt or broken or misunderstood each other, even in the space. So if you agree with that, and that's in keeping again with our code of conduct and the agreements that we set together has the Faith Action Collective, then please give me a thumbs up. Either put on your videos and give me a thumbs up, or you're welcome to give me a reaction on your digital thumbs ups as well. So I'm seeing some of those, and then you can say yes or I agree on the chat if you want to use it in that way, or even just unmute and say I'm good with that. So thank you. I'm seeing lots of those thumbs up. I'm so grateful that we are co-creating a safe, so that everybody feels I can bring this here, I can put this on the table at our lunchtime, that there's courage, which means, you know, there's some discomfort, but we commit to continuing the journey, and that there's accountability. So that even if we do mess up or there is misunderstanding, that we commit to working together to sorting that out. Does that sound okay? So it's very quiet on the other side. I know I'm getting thumbs up, but you are welcome to unmute and speak as well when I ask questions, if you don't want to put it on the chat as well. So I'm at this time going to also just remind us that if you hadn't filled out the register, we are going live on YouTube. Is it Jill on YouTube? And want to make sure that if you
It's
didn't
on Facebook, Marisha. I couldn't get it onto YouTube, so
Okay,
it's live
no
Facebook
problem.
on We Will Speak Out page.
So thank you for that. So it's on Facebook, and to know that it is live on Facebook. So also just so that you know, and again, we want to be honest and transparent, but if there's anything that you are sharing or you feel, okay, if it's on Facebook, then please do let us know so that we are aware of that. But I just want to make you aware of that. If you've signed the register, you would have got that note there. So thank you again once more, everybody. I'm going to now hand over to Daniela. Are we all feeling okay? Are we all doing okay? Again, if you've just come in, let us know where you are, how you are doing, and maybe what you're having for lunch. So, okay, sorry, before we go to Daniela, we're going to just take a first conversation. What do you already know about the NSP? Sorry, it's no and not now. What do you already know about the NSP and the interfaith strategy? So let me see if there are any hands up if you want to say, and how do we feel about it? And where do we see ourselves in it? Anybody? You're welcome to put it on the chat, or just give me your hands up if you are ready to unmute. And let's keep our responses sharp and short so that more people can share. Let's also be mindful of our container of wanting to make sure that more people get a voice to speak. So if we're taking too much airtime, we'll offer it to others as well. And if you are open, I can even call you out or call you up to come and share. So just let me know if that's okay too. Anybody, what do you know about the NSP, so the National Strategic Plan, or about the Interfaith Strategy? If you haven't heard about it, you're welcome to say, I don't know what's it about. Do we have any takers? Oh, it's a quiet lunch hour. Are we all busy munching? Okay, here we go. The first one coming in from Mtata Women's Support Center. I'm not sure who that is, but they can let us know their name. What I know about the NSP GBVF is that everyone is accountable to contribute to the GBVF scourge according to the 6 pillars. Thank you. from Umtata Women's Support Center. How about others? Let me check if there are any hands up. Okay, from Seth Niker, the strategy is designed to complement government's overarching national strategy on GBVF. So Seth, am I guessing that you mean the interfaith strategy is designed? And it's a comprehensive strategy. The Interfaith Initiative aims on focusing on prevention and social cohesion. Thank you, Seth. Okay, how about the feelings? If you don't, how do we feel about it? Maybe use your reactions if you don't want to type something in. So if you go to react, you'll see some emojis there. Okay, so I got some thumbs up. So I guess some people are feeling okay and good about it. Okay, I get some more thumbs up. Seth is showing a thumbs down. Bukelwa is a thumbs up. Others? Okay. Okay, Pratibha, I think we need to engage more together so that we can make it more practical. Absolutely, Pratibha. I also feel like that. So if I can share and I invite you again to unmute or put your hands up so I can see you and then you can share as well. I sometimes feel like the documents itself can be so unreachable or inaccessible. And sometimes like what's going on in the grassroots, like not making the connections with that is sometimes hard for me to see. And I have to work hard to see how it links. So I feel that with you. Priscilla. Priscilla, would you like to just unmute and share it? Or would because I've been reading it, but I'm hoping that someone will unmute and share and open up the conversation. So Priscilla, I'm putting you on the spot.
Good afternoon, colleagues.
There we go. Yes, Priscilla.
I was the first citizen here in this group today.
Yes, welcome. You came in early. So you definitely have to speak then.
Okay, thank you. I just I put my input on the chat there to say at Limpopo Mental Health Society, which is an NGO that is generally focusing on mental health issues, but specifically with those who are already living with mental illness and those with intellectual disability. Our program is for girls and women with intellectual disabilities because they are more going through GBV unaware because they don't have that knowledge that what is happening to them is GBV. So from our side, we realize that that is the biggest gap. We are trying to close it by holding the community dialogues, including them, and also having the support groups with them in the centers, in the local communities. So we, on NSP, we are on pillar number 2, with which is already I have put on the chat. I'm a social worker by profession, and I've realized that when people are in trauma, some of the traumas, you as a social worker have never been in it. As a result, you also get traumatized by whatever has happened, and it takes longer to get the results that you are looking for to help the person. Hence, we are more in pillar number 2 to prevent, because if the government is budgeting money to have the centers and people who are managing those who are already in GBV, we are not going to get it done well, except if we start talking about it, preventing it from. And Limpopo Mental Health, we are more in a better space because we know mental health and GBV, they go hand in hand. No man who is really mentally well can really, go to that extent of hating the loved ones the way they have been killing, or, the way, whatever they are doing to their loved ones, which results into being called gender-based violence. Thank you, I'll pause.
Oh, thank you so much, Priscilla. You've offered so many different nuggets for us to ponder upon. Vicarious trauma that many social workers, people who are doing the work on the ground that faces together with survivors. Absolutely. And the whole point that you're bringing on why prevention is so important in terms of even, not having the resources to do the response care, but how can we even prevent so that then we won't even need to respond to some of the trauma if we're preventing it. So absolutely. So thank you for bringing that to us. We definitely appreciate what you are doing. How about others? So I'm not seeing any other hands, so I'm going to be moving to maybe calling. So Priscilla, who was also with you, came early, so I'm sure they want to talk. Obakeng, I know you came early. You were there together with Priscilla. Anything from your side? And
Hello,
Noma
everybody.
Zizi, you were also here early. So our early birds are getting some time to chat since we don't have anybody else lifting their hands up or digital hands or putting it unmuting. Can I call on Obakeng and Noma Zizi, who was also with us earlier on?
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Obakeng.
I'm well, and thank you. No, at the moment, I don't have anything else to share. I'm just participating, just to learn, to hear from different parties. Thank you.
Okay, great. And where are you signing in from and what organization, Obakeng?
Oh, Obakeng is from Bloemfontein in Free State, representing MT Foundation.
Okay.
Yes,
We're
MT
grateful.
Foundation is heavily involved in the communities here, especially regarding the GBV and so other social ills within Bloemfontein area.
Great stuff. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, grateful that you're here. And how about Noma Zizi, who was also together with Priscilla earlier on? So I'm just calling on you if you would like to share anything to that.
Hello, thank you, Marisha. I'm actually no expert in this area. I'm from the Anglican Church in Bloemfontein at Palmeng, and I'm part of the Anglican Women's Fellowship. So we've got different unit committees, and one of the committees is GBVF. So I would like to learn as much as possible because I'm heading the Environment Unit Committee. But I do realize there is interconnectedness with all of the unit committees. I like the part where it says prevention is actually very important because there is a lot, our girls are actually undergoing a lot of trauma and they don't speak about it in universities, in schools, at homes. And we want to try and talk about it even at Sunday school level so that children can grow up to be more confident and prevent this from happening to themselves in whatever way. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Noma Zizi from the Anglican Women's Fellowship. And we are grateful even for the work that you are doing and grateful that you got to share with us as well. So as you can see, I think people are at different spaces doing this work in different ways because we know that it takes many of the different intersectional pathways to be able to deal with and respond and prevent gender-based violence. and kind of an holistic approach as well is what I'm hearing different people share in what they are doing. So thank you for that. I'm going to read the 2 final comments, and then we're going to get ready to hand over to Daniela, who's going to give us an input, an overview on the NSP and an overview of the interfaith, and then looking at some of the the similarities, what are some of the differences, and then how then do we take these documents. We're going to have a discussion again, and hopefully then you'll be a little bit more warmer to opening up and sharing, either I think in small groups, because we are big enough to go into small groups and talk more through that. So Seth says he's grateful for the interfaith sector, yet he feels distant from the NSP. It feels far away and not sure if our work on the ground is helping to mobilize a strategy to prevent and end GBVF. So thank you to Seth for that. Mavis, thank you for this platform. Okay, Mavis has just come in and she's Mavis Tom, from a motivational speaker talking about GBV and awareness on mental health in schools. And then Mercy believes both strategies aim to create a South Africa free from GBVF, emphasizing a whole society approach. Thank you, Mercy, for that. So even as you're thinking a little bit more, and as Daniela is sharing as well, you are welcome to please use the chat box to give us your comments, your questions, what's sparking your interest, what maybe you need more information on, because this space is really to for us to collaborate, to connect with each other and see how we can make our work more impactful together. Daniela, over to you. Thank you. Hi, Daniela.
Sorry, I launched into my presentation already. Can you imagine? I don't know when we'll ever learn to unmute.
We can hear you now.
Yes,
No
thank you. I
problem.
was just grateful for
There
the
we go.
space and all the contributions that have come in. And it's so important that we're really honest and authentic as we engage with these things so that we can really find ways to work together and to engage better. Of course, the work on the ground is priority. And I think we need to, and a lot of what we do when people are compiling strategies and so on is actually also building on the experience, the knowledge that already exists and that people have already been engaged in. So the idea of, I think, both of these documents has never been prescriptive. So I think it's important to say that right at the beginning. The NSP has a long history from 2017, 2018, where there was quite a lot of engagement, broad social engagement, and people were basically just fed up. And as I think Seth or Mercy have said, the interfaith strategy has emerged out of the National Strategic Plan, and the process of engaging across 8 or 9 different faith traditions has resulted in that interfaith strategy based on the recognition of the faith sector that we do have a call to engage in our society and in this huge scourge, somebody else has said, that is affecting all aspects of society. And so, yeah, and the Faith Action Collective and We Will Speak Out have really brokered that process. But the strategy belongs to all of us. And it is a living document, and we are constantly wanting and needing to shift and change and to be responsive to what's happening on the ground. I've set my timer here for 10 minutes, and when it goes beep beep, I shall stop speaking immediately. I tend to talk too much. So just to introduce the National Strategic Plan. The National Strategic Plan aims to provide a multi-sectoral, coherent, strategic policy and programming framework to strengthen a coordinated national response. And the response needs to be by the government and the country as a whole, for whom to address the needs and challenges faced by all those impacted by GBV in South Africa, with a main focus on women in all their diversity. They list a whole lot of different types of women, but that is the main focus. This is from the foreword. I've tried to simplify the theory of change, and I will run through it quickly, and forgive me for the speed, but we will make it available. And there's a few other explanatory slides that are included that I won't actually talk to now. So the vision of the NSP is a South Africa free from GBV, directed at women, children, and the LGBTQIA+ community. And the impact that the strategy is looking towards is decreased levels of GBV for women, children, and the LGBTIQ+ community. The fundamental principles are linked to accountability, prevention, and responsiveness. And some people have already touched on that. So that's really good. I think we're connecting in. And the 6 pillars that were also mentioned, just to run through them quickly, and their objectives really, if we can achieve what we want to achieve under these 6 pillars, we should be getting the impact we need, and hopefully be creating the kind of society we are looking towards. So accountability, coordination, and leadership at broad level. We can't do this together. Several people have already mentioned it. Prevention, and also rebuilding social cohesion. There's a whole lot of reasons for that, and I'm sure we'll have opportunities in the next 12 sessions to talk more about that. Justice, safety, and protection, and we all know the failure of the justice system throughout. Response, care, support, and healing, and avoiding secondary abuse when people come for support. Economic power to reduce dependencies that often result in the kind of abusive relationships that we see. And all of this also underpinned by research and information management, that we move together, we work together, and we understand evidence that shows what is working better and what is not working as well. So forgive me for moving straight to the Interfaith GBV, and it's a prevention and mitigation strategy. And our future vision that drives us, we really dream of not just an end of gender-based violence. Sorry, GBV is, gender-based is missing from the word violence, but we dream of an inclusive and harmonious society that is free of gender-based violence and all other forms of violence. And what do we do as the faith sector? What do we need to do to fulfill that dream? Firstly, we need to ourselves be gender and GBV competent faith communities. And we need to remember the values that we share and ensure that our work is rooted and lived out, that we live out those values. Because how we do it is as important as what we do. And we then also need to contribute actively to achieving the desired outcomes of the NSP, because it's all parts, we're just one part of a whole society approach. This is a very brief summary of the strategies. I'm not going to go through it word for word. You can study it more carefully later. But what's central is these 3 pathways that were identified through a process of consultation over months last year, and even the year before, when we produced a joint statement of commitment, which ultimately led to the strategy to guide us. And those 3 pathways are transforming norms and equipping our partners to do that, and ourselves. All being partners in this is a collective. There's no organization, no top down that's telling us what we should be doing. We're a collective, we work together, we learn from each other, and we are building an interfaith movement where we can learn from all our traditions and all the experience that everybody has had. And the 3rd pathway that is really critical is creating safe, caring, inclusive, and accountable faith communities. And together, ensuring that we have impact at local level and every other level as well. There is a steering group that's been put together that is comprised of representatives from various stakeholder groups and faiths, as well as these, I don't know what we call them. They are teams that offer the kind of specialist support to enable anybody from the faith sector, because it's one thing to build a movement, it's one thing to want to do something, but how do we actually help to equip one another to do it? And then there are 5 outcomes. I won't go through them in detail, but what's important is that each of them relate across the different pathways. Now to some comparisons. I've identified 3 striking differences, and I've actually just popped them next to each other here. And I've read them both out, I think. But I'd love it if somebody could just, or in the chat, Marisha, I don't know how you would like to do it. Can you identify a key difference between the vision of the NSP, or maybe even 2 differences, or 3 between that of the Interfaith GBV Prevention and Mitigation Strategy and the NSP? Anyone want to come in here and contribute what you are seeing? Because it's important that we are seeing these together. I think Sika's hand up, Marisha. I'm not sure if you've seen that.
Yes. Yeah, please go ahead and Sika.
Thank you, Chair. I would like just to point out maybe the points that I see and are interest to me, and maybe they can see that the Interfaith GBV Prevention and Mitigation Strategy, it works within the lines of NSP and beyond. And by saying that, it is because if you check down, sorry for starting down, people, on the impact, it says decrease level of gender-based violence and femicide for women and children and LGBTQI, and long-term goal, that is the impact that is want to be done. Gender, and GBV, competition, faith, and communities contribute active and to achieve the desired outcomes of the NSP. But what I see here, I see us like working together with the NSP, but the problem now, it will be maybe we don't know, or we are not aware that we are actually working together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nsika. Is there anyone else, Marisha?
I haven't, Tuto.
Oh, here I am.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
Tuto.
All right. I see a lot of similarity in terms of the 2 missions or visions, because even here in Free State, in our Department for Local Government, Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, there was instances where we were requested by the different churches to come and address them on the National Strategic Plan on Gender-Based Violence. So the National Strategic Plan on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide is very clear on the role of churches when it comes to GBVF and creating of safe spaces, and the moral regeneration leaders need a lot of road shows to understand the vision in terms of the 2 together, Interfaith GBV Prevention Strategy and that of National Strategy for Gender-Based Violence, because a lot of those bishops and presidents in those churches, they don't know these guidelines and strategies, which are primary or primary in terms of GBV prevention. And what I've also found very often in the space is that they don't, as a church, they don't have justice and restoration clusters that are essential to, mitigate some of the issues on GBVF within the church. They can't work together with correctional services as a result, and they don't know how to advocate for the for the rights of the victims of GBVF, but there's a lot of similarity in terms of the two together. Thank you.
Thank you, Tutor. I think with these contributions, I've used my 10 minutes. I wonder, Marisha, if you would give me an extra 2?
Yes, please go ahead, Daniela. That's fine.
Thank you. Leo has just raised her hand.
Okay, please finish up and then I'll take some from the room.
All right. All right. Thank you. Okay, so that what I'm seeing in terms of differences here, and I'm putting it out there to see if you agree. The vision of the NSP is very focused on gender-based violence. And our vision as the interfaith strategy, in a way, is more positive. It's like saying, yes, we must focus on gender-based violence, but we also have a vision that drives us. And it's a faith-driven vision and a values-based driven that we are looking towards creating an inclusive and harmonious society in South Africa that is free of gender-based violence. But we're not just focusing on the negative, but we feel that if we work proactively to create this kind of society, and I think other people have mentioned prevention being better than cure. So there's a lot of thinking around what kind of society do we want to create? And also in terms of the faith sector, while we consider women and children in the LGBTI community as the most vulnerable, we're also looking at men and some of the vulnerabilities, particularly in terms of the kinds of inequalities we have in our society. Yes, and I think the others, our focus being to build on ourselves to become competent. We look inwards as well as outwards. We're not just assuming we're perfect and we're going to change society that way. So just to add a couple of others, we don't see many values, other values-based raised in the NSP. I may be wrong. There's some principles, but in outcome 2.3, I did see for prevention and social cohesion, as well as pillar 4, dignity, caring, and that the work needs to be trauma-informed, both collectively and individually, do appear. But it isn't kind of highlighted in the way that it's specifically highlighted, which makes sense for us as a faith sector. The focus is also on the whole society across both. But as I mentioned earlier, we don't leave out men. In fact, they're an important part, and I think there's an increasing realization of the important part of working together as everybody of all genders together. We're looking at interfaith movement building as well as broader intersectoral engagement. And the aim of the NSP on the left is to improve systems, structures, approaches, knowledge. And we agree with those, but we add a unique aim, which promotes internal, personal, and institutional transformation as vital to becoming credible change agents in society. And as such, the concept of spiritual abuse is actually central because it gives us a language and a tool to also examine ourselves and to understand sometimes how blindly we may use our scriptures, our traditions in ways that do harm. And we need to have that openness to examine ourselves as well. How are the strategies similar? I think people have mentioned them. I'm not going to spend long. Prevention, accountability, response. Those 3 principles are critical. Norm change. I think Tuso earlier mentioned that. The importance of the faith sector. Collaboration is critical, that we need to work intersectorally as well as interfaith. We need to ensure that the work is done where the rubber hits the road at local level. We can't just pontificate in broader spaces, and be responsive to what is happening at a local level. And that's why I say even our strategies need to be living and shift and change to be responsive if they aren't. We also, I think, with Pillar 6 and within our own ways of working, we seek innovation, and we need to be documenting what is working well, what is not working well. So I'm not going to go into this, but we did a little exercise to see which of the pillars the different strategy outcomes contribute to, and you can see it's quite a number. And so I'm also thinking, and we've been thinking, that as the faith sector and all of you that are here, all of us that are here, it would be great if more of us actually joined the pillar groups. And we'll talk more about that. I have got a list which we can also share with all the participants of the people that are convening those pillar groups, so that you can contact them and ask to be introduced into the WhatsApp groups. My very last point, which is really just to put up the key implementation themes that emerged from the interfaith when we launched the interfaith strategy. And we had a very deep discussion that resulted in the over 150 people, I think, that were there from 8 different or more faith traditions or none, to raise these particular themes that we need as we are implementing, as we are planning and thinking, how can we contribute to both the NSP and the strategy? There are working groups that have come together to do work around these different areas. And anyone who's interested to join any of those, I'm sure Marissa will be inviting you to indicate your contact details on the chat and which group. But these are also the themes that we will look at, and Marissa will explain all of that, so I'm not going to take away from her, and I am done. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniela, and thank you for using your time wisely. I know that Leo had a hand up, so we are going to take Leo's input there or question. And then we have just another discussion time before we bring our meeting to a close, before we explain the other program. So Leo, let's go over to you, and then let's come back to see if there's anybody else. And then we'll check if we have enough time to go to groups.
Thank you, Marisha. For me, I think the interfaith are focusing and creating inclusivity in harmonious society. That's what I will say regarding the interfaith. But at the end of the day, I've written something about it that I will share in our platform. For me, it is filling each other up, although there are still here and there some gaps. But what made me happy was last page that Daniela showed, how they intertwine with each other. So for me, there is definitely a connection. It's just, I will support the fact that Daniela is saying that we must join more of the NSP groups, because there's definitely a good thing that we are doing as the interfaith. Thank you.
Thank you, Leo. So you're definitely seeing the connections there, and also bringing up the point on harmony again. So we want to go into a second round of conversation, and I am hoping that we would have more comments. We have just less than, say, about 20 minutes left, and we want, it may be too short for us to go into groups. So let's see, can we go back to the big group, or how are we feeling? Quickly, let me get an indication. Would you prefer small groups? If yes, please give me a thumbs up now. Would you like to go to small groups?
Yes,
Okay.
small groups.
Okay, so we have 1 input. Anybody else? 2. Okay. Sonia, so let's keep it, we're going to keep it to short, small groups. So just 10 minutes, and you're going to be attending to this question. Reflecting on our practice, how can we apply the document to strengthen our work at local, provincial, and national level? Now, what Daniela shared was quite a quick, brief overview. But from what she has shared, how can we take that document and for it to become living in those different levels? And then how can our work contribute to them? So many of you already started sharing on your chat what you are doing. So we'd like for you to go into the smaller groups and maybe mention it there. Like we are working in this space and it touches on pillar 5 or touches on pillar 2, whatever it is. And then any concerns or suggestions that you have. I will ask for somebody to please take down notes in the group. And then when you come back, please put it on the chat or to share it with us. We'll also put an email address so that we can capture, or you can send your notes there. So I'm going to ask Sonia to get ready. Let's take 10 minutes. And Sonia, let's try and keep it in groups of 4 so that it's even smaller for more time instead of 5. So as you see a little screen come up to say go to room, just say yes or click on it and it will take you to a smaller room. These questions will come up, but it's really just looking at how do these apply to where you are at and how can your work contribute to it? And are there any suggestions or concerns that you have? So Tutu is already suggesting something, so thank you for that. So please now, you should get an invitation. Please join that room. And then I'll see you back in 10 minutes. Hi, Sonia.
Hi, Marisha.
So we're going to have to just cut down the time.
Yeah, it didn't allow me to remove, but it's at 36. I will close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I've
fine then.
seen that because it was already set for 20.
Yeah, I think because we already went into conversation, which was good.
Marisha, I couldn't manage to live stream on YouTube. It gave me an error message. So I did it on Facebook and we've had 4 shares.
Okay, good. No, that's fine. As long as it's flighting on somewhere.
And what we can do is after Sonia's done the recording, she can upload it onto YouTube.
Okay. So for those that are on Facebook, just to let you know that the participants are gone into small groups and they are attending to the questions. How can we apply the document to strengthen our work at our different levels? And then you can also consider how can your work contribute to them? And if you have any concerns or suggestions. So if you're on Facebook, please do put it on the chat if you want to answer any of those questions. And in another 10 minutes, we will be coming back onto the plenary again.
Maybe we can share oh no, it was Daniela's. I was going to say we can share the slides, the slide with the questions.
Okay, I will go to the Facebook page and put it on a chat somewhere there.
Okay, thanks.
Joel, are you able to send a message on Facebook to say we're in small breakout groups? Is that able to come on there? Rochelle, Gabriel, Mabuti, and Levi, are you all good here in this plenary? I'm not sure if you would like to have a discussion here, or if you could, just give me a thumbs up. Yes, Levi, would you like to share?
Yes, no, it's just a concern. I was on the other group, but it seems like there's no sound there. Then I left it to this side.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay,
Yes.
because it's a plenary.
Okay.
There's still some minutes. We can put you in another breakout room if you'd like that.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, you can do.
Okay, let me do that. Are the rest of the participants here okay? Gabriel, Mabuti, and Rochelle, are you fine in this plenary and waiting on the small groups?
Hi there.
Hello, Mabuti, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, thanks.
I'll say for now I'm fine because I was
Okay.
late, né?
No problem.
So I couldn't hear a lot.
Okay,
So
no
I'll just wait
problem.
for feedback. All right.
But welcome, welcome. We're glad that you're here. Where are you
Thank you.
joining from?
From Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality.
Okay, and your organization?
I'm from the municipality.
From the municipality. Oh, that's wonderful
Yes.
to have you here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
thank you.
All right.
Blue, oh, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Welcome, I see you've just joined. The participants are in plenary, but you're welcome to unmute and say hello. Is it Bleu?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Did I say your name? Please let me know.
That's not my real name, it's just a
Oh.
nickname. My real name is Blaine.
Oh, okay. What's your real name?
My real name is Blaine.
Blaine. Okay. Welcome, Blaine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you so much. How about yourself?
I'm good, thanks. I'm Marisha. If you're wondering what's happening, the participants are in small groups and they'll be returning to the plenary. But you're welcome to share where you're signing in from. I think they all will be joining back in.
Just
I'm
under
just
a
joining
minute, yes.
individual.
Blaine, where are you from?
I am from Nelson Mandela Bay, from the Faith Memorial Congregational Church.
Okay, wonderful. Great to have you here. So thank you for
so much.
joining.
Pleasure.
Welcome back, Usha and Dr. Stanley and Delia. I hope you had a good discussion.
Actually, our discussion was very one-sided. We didn't have too much discussions.
Is it?
People had problems with network and couldn't really participate.
Oh, I see.
It's a
Sorry
bit
about
difficult
that.
here.
Okay.
That's from where we're going. And it should be like celebrated within the individual, but we're getting messages that that's a negative thing to evolve, to transform, to grow, that that's not necessary, which means that growth is not necessary. So what is our
Welcome
mindset?
back, everybody.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, but is that Ghazala? You want to?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, you're back in the main session now, but I'm
Oh,
sure you
sorry.
guys are
No,
deep
we
in
were asking such an
conversation.
interesting question in our group. We're really getting into bones and nuts of things.
Okay, no, well, that's what the group time was supposed to do. So I'm glad that you were deeply in conversation.
Oh my God,
And
very interesting speakers and very insightful, thoughts. So it was really wonderful to be a part of.
oh, great,
Thank you.
wonderful, wonderful. And we hope that everybody was able to have some good discussion. We know that the time was short, but we are going to be closing soon because we know your lunch break is almost over and many of us getting back to our other jobs. But we are grateful that you have been here and that we've got to have the overview of what we were hoping to do today. Talk a little bit about what the NSP is doing, what the interfaith strategy is about, and then what are the similarities, what are the differences, and how do we see us working towards that? Are there any concerns or suggestions that you have? Now, please, would you put that in the chat? Seth, I do see your hand raised. At this time, we are not going to get feedback from the groups, but we are getting feedback by you putting it on the chat, if that's okay. Seth, if it's something else, you're welcome to unmute and share with us. I'm not hearing you, but let me have a look at the chat.
All right.
Fine, Marisha, I'll put it in the chat. Thank you.
Okay. So
okay.
We do thank you for all of your contributions that you have put on the chat. And then so please give us an update, whoever the note taker was on the chat at what was discussed, what are some of the concerns and suggestions. I'm sure that everybody would like to know that. So please do look out on the chat for that. And we will make sure to send that in the notes. If you've registered, you will get a link to the notes and to the PowerPoint as well. So don't worry about missing out on anything of that. So as we come to a close, we have, I think, about 5 minutes more. What I quickly want to say to you, many of you have shared about your organizations and what you are doing on the ground, and that's really great. And many of you, I've seen you saying, oh, I'd like to know more about this, or this person's talking about that, and you want to collaborate. And we have a really great way for you to do it. You're welcome to, take each other's email addresses and phone numbers and connect, but we have an online community of praxis. And what that means is you sign up and you profile your organization. So it will ask you some questions. We will verify who you are and what you are doing. And so, for example, if Mabuti comes and says, I'm working in the Mandela Metro, this is the work that we are doing with, say, for example, someone is working with boys, or someone is working with the LGBTIQ plus communities, or someone is working with survivors. All they need to do is search that up, and the list of those different organizations will come up. So you're welcome to do that. We've shared the link, and then Daniela has just shared it again. So please have a look out for that. And that's where collaborations can go deeper as well. And then you also can profile your organization on that online community of praxis. It also is like a little space of what we did today. You can do it anytime, because it's like a little hub that you have. If you want to ask a question, if there's a topic that's concerning you, like how do we deal with pushback in the church? How do we deal with some of the negativity that people don't even want to talk about those issues? You can start asking those questions on that platform, and then whoever is signed up can start answering, and you can start honest, open conversations in a safe space that's not going to shut you down, and then respecting our values as well. So please do take that opportunity to do that. Okay, so I'm grateful that there are quite a lot of different messages coming up on the chat. I'm not able to have a look at all of that, but we will, as the Secretariat team, go through that and make sure that we will send responses. But please do look out for the email that would give you an overview of what was shared about today. So what I would like to do is just introduce the remaining conversations. Your participant feedback again is coming on the chat. So whether you are the note taker or whatever if you want, you're still welcome to put what you thought was in the chat as well. And then I'm going to share with you on the next slide, we're doing this 2 conversations a month, the 2nd and 4th week of every month. So it's the 2nd and 4th week of every month on a Wednesday, same time, same place online with your lunch, and invite as many people as you'd like to. So today was the overview of the strategy and the NSP. The next one in 2 weeks' time is we will be discussing spiritual abuse. You may be saying, what is that? And oh my gosh, yes, it's so important. I need to know more. So please definitely be here for that. The next one in October is GBV and mental health. In 22nd October, healing children and older persons and family restoration. November, we have 2, which is men, masculinities, and the active positive presence of men as partners and fathers. And inclusivity, strengthening relationships and movement building. And then we have some open time just for any themes or topics that we may have missed out, or that we like, oh, we need more time on this, or this is something that we need to spend more time having a conversation of. Thank you, Daniela. Daniela said it's on the Thursday because the Wednesday is Heritage Day, so we're going to give you the day off. And then we're going to have it on the Thursday. So hopefully that's clear. Again, you will get this info on email, so please look out for that as well. Thank you so much for sharing the beautiful work that each of you are doing. strength to each of you as you continue. Oh, sorry, do we have more? Is there another slide? Oh, yes, it goes on next year as well. So next year, we're going to start off with, in February, with restorative justice, and then a focus on youth in the second session. And then we have transformative training programs, building GBV competent faith communities in March. And then additional themes raised during the series also will be happening again at the second half of, towards the end of the second half. And then sharing lessons and forward planning. So hopefully that gives you a good overview of where we're going. Lots to talk more about and lots more to gauge more deeply, but hopefully the connections have already been made to you today. So I'm so grateful that many of you have said, look, I'm doing this and we need to collaborate. So that's wonderful. And as we normally do at our spaces together, we'd like to close with this interfaith pledge. I'm going to ask us to all unmute at the end, which is the red sentence in red, where we all will declare that together. And then I need 1, 2, 3, 4 volunteers to read the blue. Anybody would like to read the blue one out loud?
I will read it.
Thank you. And then we have a black line. Anyone would like to read? Thank you. And then we have green.
Take the green one.
Thank you. And then we have black again.
We'll read it.
Thank you. And then we're all going to read red again. So before we start, please take a deep breath in with me and out. And another deep breath in and out. Thank you so much for joining us at our Lunchtime Conversations. Let's continue to keep it authentic and honest and valuable for each of us. Nsika, you're going to start us off. Over to you.
Gender-based violence is unacceptable, inexcusable, and intolerable in all its manifestations.
Yet we confess that we have sometimes chosen not to see or tolerated gender-based violence. We have been collaborators and co-conspirators against the very essence of our creation.
From our local platform within local communities, people of faith potentially play a vital role in raising awareness, advocating for survivors' rights, and against impunity, holding perpetrators accountable and challenging harmful gender norms and gender injustices without fear or favor.
Yet we confess that we have often been complicit by our silence, our inaction, our misuse of scared text, and our rigid structures that silence or exclude diversity. Thus, we have undermined God's image in all people.
Thank you. Let's all unmute. You're welcome to put your videos on, your cameras, and let's say this line together. Therefore,
we commit to standing up, speaking up,
and
taking decisive action, being
being
accountable to others, to each other,
and to God.
Amen.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome to put your cameras on, and we're going to get a screenshot. If you're open to taking a picture with us before you leave, please do that. Yes, now we can get to see your beautiful faces. I was waiting for you to put it on.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Go well. See you at our next one in 2 weeks' time.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
On the 25th. Bye.
Bye-bye.